Hi everybody. Okay, so I'm back with another K-drama to see. Have you already seen it? And if not, is this something that you would check out? So before we get into this video, you already know the drill. Like this video, follow me for more, and share this with someone that you know that would be into K-dramas and would potentially check it out. Okay, so let's get into it. The name of today's K-drama is called King the Land. When this show starts out, we see our female lead. Her name is Chon Sarang, and she's actually at an interview to work at King Hotel. Now, when she applies to work or to interview for this company, she does not meet all the credentials that are needed for her to actually work there. She doesn't have a bachelor's degree. She really doesn't have much experience in being a concierge or anything along the lines of working at a hotel. When she gets to her interview, they ask her, because one of her skills is that she knows how to play the piano. She's not a professional, but she does know how to play the piano. What she does stuns the interviewers, and they're so shocked that she would even do this. They tell her to play the piano. She says, but there isn't a piano here. And one of the interviewer ladies says, exactly. And then she starts going, dun, 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 dun. I was just like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing here. Anyway, after they kind of like looked at her and they looked at each other in confusion, they then proceeded with the next portion of the interview. She did really well, especially considering that coming into the interview, her shoe had broken off. But they did make a note to let her know that she is way below the criteria needed to actually work for their hotel. So our girl goes home after the interview and she feels defeated. She's out with her friends, and her friends are like, you know what? We need to go out for a night of clubbing and dancing. So that's exactly what they do. So the following morning, after that night of clubbing, our girl is hung over. She gets a call and she answers, not really expecting anything. And they ask, hey, are you interviewee number 511, I believe the number was? And she says, yes, that's me. And then they were like, oh, we'd like to offer you a position here at King Hotel. Our girl is baffled. Baffled. What do you mean you want to offer me a position? Like, I don't even qualify. But you know what? She's excited and eager to get to work. Now, on the other hand, we have our main male lead. His name is Kwon. Now, he is actually returned to Korea from being overseas. Now, when he comes back to Korea, when I tell you Kwon knows how to make an entrance, he knows how to make an entrance. He skydives right out of an airplane to land on the helicopter pad on top of the hotel, just for him to find out that he landed on the wrong rooftop. So he ends up being late to show up for his first day as an intern for the hotel. Now, while he's there, one of the people that is responsible for training him and having him there as an intern, he's essentially like looking him up and down and saying like, "Who do you think you are? Do you think you're like a chaebol or something of some sort?" So he kind of makes a mockery of him. Along the lines, something ends up happening, and it's him and another man who seems to be a professional at being an intern. That guy desperately needs a position. So that guy is constantly saying, "Oh, I apologize. I will teach him well. I will teach him well. I will teach him well." Anyway, along the lines, Guan gets assigned to having to change or make copies at the printer, but it seems that the toner is out. So now he has to change the toner for the printer. Now the guy that's supposed to be training them, he tells Guan and the other intern, whose name I cannot remember at the moment, "Hey, shake the toner." And the guy says to him, "Won't this cause this to explode?" He says, "No, just shake it." So then he's shaking vigorously, I might add, and the toner actually explodes. So then he starts going off on him, and that's when the guy who actually runs that floor comes down and says, "Oh, who do you think you are? Like, why are you guys doing this?" And the person that told them to do it actually points and says, "It was them. It was their fault," and then steps aside. So now this manager guy is kind of like going in on them, saying like, "Why would you guys do this? Are you guys like fools? Like, were you born yesterday? How do you have no comprehension that you should not be shaking like a toner cartridge?" And Guan says, without thinking, "Well, we were instructed to do so. This is not something that we would have just done voluntarily." All in all, they end up telling Guan that he is fired and the other guy that he's fired, and for both of them not to return, but to clean up this mess before they leave. So Guan starts walking, and they're like, "Where are you going?" He takes out his phone and he calls someone, and he says, "Who are you calling?" And he said, "You said for this place to get cleaned up, right?" And he says, "Yeah." So he ends up calling someone who comes down. He's like, "Who did you call?" And he says the name of the secretary. "What is your name?" He goes, "Guan." He was like, "Guan, like Guil, is that your dad?" He goes, "Yes." He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." Right? Regretting his words, whatever. All in all, he was just like, "Well, I'm already fired, so I'm leaving." So the secretary comes down with a cleaning crew, and then he also says that they're going to replace the copier machine, and that's what they do. Now, upon leaving, they start reaming into the other guy, and Guan comes back to his defense and says, "Hey, you want to come with me? I can guarantee you a full-time position. You won't have to worry about doing this kind of stuff ever again." And he says, "Okay." His sister makes it apparent that, "Hey, oh, Dad, don't worry. I'll teach him the ropes, or I'll teach him how to work at the company or at our hotel." And what she actually does when she gets outside and out of earshot of the father, she pretty much lets him know, "Yeah, go ahead and return back to that other country. I will send money to make sure that you're well taken care of, but don't think that you have a stake in being able to work at this company. This is my rightful inheritance, and I've worked so hard for this." Now, you can kind of see that there is an age discrepancy between him and his sister, something along the lines of probably older than 10, maybe 15 years older than each other. And the sister has a disdain for him. Like she despises him. Now, he says, "Oh, I'm just going to finish my stay at the hotel and then I'm going to leave. I have no interest in staying here." After that whole ordeal happens, one ends up, going to the gym to work out, and he has a, I guess, tiger shirt on. Now, prior to him getting there, there is another man at the gym with a tiger on the back of his shirt, and he essentially leaves a card or an envelope for our main female lead, Chun Sarang, and it's essentially saying like, "If you want to make more money, why don't you just come and have a good time with me? I'll pay you better than you get from cleaning up butt sweat from the gym equipment." So Chun Sarang runs out there with the impression that the guy with the tiger on his back is the one that left her the envelope. And when she gets there, it's not the same man that's there. It's actually Guan. And he is completely confused as to why this woman is disrupting his workout. That's when the two of them start to clash heads. After all of that happens and Guan's sister comes down and pretty much tells him to leave the hotel, "You should be checked out by now," he says, "Well, don't worry, I'm leaving right now." And that's exactly what our guy does. He leaves, and we then proceed to see that for the past 7 years, he's been graduating, earning certifications, earning like experience, and Chun Sarang has essentially been moving up in the hotel from working as a person cleaning butt sweat to eventually working in the lobby. And then eventually, when they pan out to 7 years into what is now the present, she is actually training some people. Now, in this show, I would definitely like to say that we are going to see an inheritance battle going on between him and his older sister, who apparently despises him. We are going to see, I guess, Chun Sarang moving up in her life and essentially falling under working for Gu Wan, who she now thinks is a pervert. And we kind of just watch them overcome the hurdles of one, both of them not being appreciated or wanted at the hotel, two, them essentially learning to trust and confide in each other and, possibly falling in love with each other. So you really just have to check it out just to see what happens next. So let me know in the comments if this is a K-drama that you've already checked out, how you felt about it. And if you haven't seen it, let me know if this is something that piqued your interest. And as usual, thank you so much for watching. Okay, thanks. Bye.